is review a trade from one of the guys on our desk in SMB template form. We do this so the traders are understanding their strengths, so they're building from those strengths, so they're internalizing their best trades. Most traders want to do more of what they're doing well and less of what they're not doing well, but they need a system to be able to ferret out what those things are. And so what we do is every day before we go home, we archive a playbook in playbook form. We archive a setup that made the most sense to us in SMB template playbook form. And then during these sessions, we go over them with one of our traders. So for you veterans out there, welcome back. For the new people, welcome overall. And soundtrack is okay. Everyone can hear us well. Okay, great. So on that note, let's bring in James. James has been doing better, I would say. We have this thing on our desk where if you make a certain amount of P&L, that we kick you out of the mentoring sessions that we do. So you go through our training program, and then you get obviously access to all of our training mentoring that we do each day. So we have a trade center, we have These Guys Are Good, and we have playbook trades. And after you make a certain amount of P&L, we kick you out. We make it voluntary. And so, James, you're not quite there yet to be kicked out of these mentoring sessions. But I firmly hope one day in the near future you do not have to listen to someone like myself. You can just do your thing. But for a developing trader, these are very, very important skill building exercises, and it's a good way to build a strong trading foundation. On that note, I'm going to step out and bring James in.
All right. Thanks for that, Mike. I love doing these things. They're a great way to review and just to keep building yourself and mentally reviewing what you did wrong, what you did right, and improvements you can make. So today we're going to be talking about a trade in ZGNX. There was some pretty important news that came out before the open yesterday. And we're going to see the importance of RVOL. And I think for the first time in a while, this is not a fade trade that we have. And also, second to that, this is kind of a 2-for-1. There's always trading opportunities. And I'm excited to get critiqued, especially on a tape play. So here we go. The big picture, the SPY. It gapped down to 186.30, which is below the previous 6 trading day lows. But then it started to, it bounced back and began trading in a range. And go to the next slide. Okay, so the intraday fundamentals of ZGNX. The RVOL was 5.66, which is relatively high. Average volume was 3.8 million. Short interest is 7%. The ATR is 36 cents. And the important thing here, which kind of led me to focus in on this a little bit, was that a competitor, Purdue Pharma, announced positive phase 3 clinical trial results of a hard-to-abuse pain reliever. And this would likely gain doctors' favor around the world over ZGNX Zohydro drug. And if you remember in the SMB training, we always try to keep out for positive news regarding phase 3 trials in pharmaceutical companies. They tend to lead to big moves for the company itself and typically plays for its competitors. And at this time, the ATR of the day was around 1, meaning, I'm sorry, excuse me. it traded already, and it's ATR basically traded around like 29 cents. But here the all vol is 5.66, indicating to me that there is some high interest, some emotion, money, people looking at this stock. So I was kind of looking for an entry and a reason to get in. So if we take a look at the technical analysis, you'll see that I have drawn out some support lines for ZGNX. This includes the past few trading days. This stock gapped down, so we're kind of looking for places where it's going to break down below and or bounce off of. So 385 turns out to be support, and we're going to see soon that it was trading in a tight range there for a while in the morning, which is a good indicator that it could break down. But before that, I'm also trying to be aware of long-term technical support levels. If it gaps down kind of in this range, I want to know where it might bounce off of, where I should set a particular target, and how I could really base my risk reward off of that. So we see here that 350 is a prior resistance, and as we know, prior resistance now becomes support. So continuing on intraday, here's my trade management. So as you can see here, ZGNX was trading in a range, and then it got tight toward the low of the day. And this turns out to be the 385 level that we discussed in the prior two slides here. So it's looking good for the downside. The news is the intraday fundamentals is negative, and the chart is in agreement with that. Having traded in within a wider range, and now it's consolidating near the lows and trading in a short range. So on a break of 350, excuse me, 380, you enter, and your stop is above the recent consolidation. The reason why, if it's truly weak, it shouldn't really go back there, and you're wrong.
So what's the price for the recent consolidation? What's the top of that?
The top of that is 87, 387. So you're risking.
Did you think about actually starting a position there?
Yes.
Did you?
Yes.
Okay, good. You want to start. So with this news, when I see news like this, you know how we talk a lot about how I'm looking for stocks that have guidance for the full year that beat or miss for guidance for the full year. And you know, if I see something and its guidance for the full year is better than expected, I have a I'm very likely to be trading them on the long side if I see any sort of strength. If I see guidance is weak for the full year, can you guys still hear me? I'm actually talking pretty far away from the microphone, but I'm just you can stay there. Okay, good. So if I see something that has miss for the full year, then I really want to find spots I'm going to be bearish, probably, with that stock. So the news that you actually gave us, you were so right to highlight it, because it's the type of news that it fits into my category of just based on the news, I'm going to have a bearish bend for trading this stock. And it's the type of news that's very, very important to us as intraday traders. It's the type of news where stocks tend to finish at lows of the day within 20%. It's the type of news where stocks go down over 3%. And so if I see an area where I can control my risk on the short side, I'm going to want to start a short position. So I'm going to want to start it there at 87 cents. And then I'm going to be at least tier 3 below 80 cents. At least tier 3.
Okay. When we do have the break, as you can see, we have these three large bearish candles. This thing just accelerates to the downside. And I'm looking for places to get out. And as we mentioned before on the daily chart, we have this 350 prior resistance, now support area. And I'm looking to cover, I'm looking to cover there, especially since it moves down so quick. I mean, this thing could bounce back up, which it did right here. And I'm always just trying to cover while I have money on the table while it's coming into a now support area. As you can see, it did continue to wick through, but then it bounced up. Now, usually, since the intraday fundamentals are so negative with phase 3 from a competitor, that I'm always trying to play the short. However, this was actually one of the 2 times where I've seen a huge amount of volume on the offer to the upside. And when I see this real time, I saw a 400,000 share offer on the level 2. And I'm looking for it to get tested, to refresh, and then I'll instantiate another short position with a stop above that offer. But in this case, this offer was paid within 10 seconds. And I was quick to kind of adjust my bias and try to play momentum on the long, which I did. And when I saw the big offer decrementing, I got long.
At what price?
It was at, I believe, 354.
Okay.
And when I saw the 40,000 share offer decrementing to around 1,000, from 400,000 to 1,000, I get long. I've seen in the past where a big offer, you see it decrementing, but then it refreshes. So I'm waiting until that 400,000 is a small relative size, and if it refreshes, then I cover immediately, because these tape plays are just purely based on the tape, and if it refreshes, that idea is done. So
you're not gonna cover. You're gonna sell.
Excuse me. Yeah. Wow. Mistake. Yeah. Sell. So they pay the offer and explodes up, and what you're supposed to do in these situations, to my knowledge, is you're just purely playing momentum. When the tape slows down, or there's a whole bunch of green prints change on the tape, you're supposed to sell. So I ended up selling kind of right here at the high here. As you can see, it went immediately down. Well, not immediately, but generally in the next 3 minutes it was down. So that was like kind of my second time playing a tape play that had a big offer, and that was my second time ever seeing such a big offer being decremented like that.
I'm sorry. What price is this down here?
That is 345.
Okay. So there's a couple of things that are really helpful about this type of play. One, the stock did just go down a lot, right?
Yeah, right.
2, it's above that 350.
Mm-hmm.
And then 3, you see a big offer lifting. So I would add that to why that scalp trade worked. It wouldn't work as well if the move hadn't been so steep. It wouldn't work so well if you weren't so close to longer-term support. It wouldn't work so well if the offer hadn't been so big. And it is just a scalp, right?
Correct.
The thing I always worry about with something like that is, are you going to miss the reshort? I assume you still want to be shorting this stock, right?
Yes.
So that's the dilemma, is that can you be so flexible in mind as to get short, cover into the down move, get long, catch the long, and then reshort into the spike. The real money is reshorting into the spike.
Yep.
The real money is establishing a bigger position, or establishing a position on the short side at a good price. So that's just something to think about. But you know, look, there's I say this a lot, which is the really best intraday traders are people who can play both sides and people who can scalp. Those are the most consistent traders, particularly at the start of their career. They do then gravitate towards longer term plays, but because they can scalp, they get their swing trades at better prices. They can take on more risk because they know how to lighten up. And we talked about a play today in plug, where if you have advanced trading skills, you can put a really big position on the short side and plug, be completely wrong, and lose almost no money if you know how to trade.
Right.
So I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. I'm fine with you trading both sides. I'm fine with you scalping in and out if that's your personality. Just the question would be, is that your personality, and are you going to miss the real short?
Right. That's definitely something to consider and think over in my trading journal.
I wouldn't get long there.
You
I wouldn't get long. I wouldn't get long there, but Swang would, And,
yeah, he would.
And Swang is a tremendous trader. Swang's up. He's having another good month. So anyway.
But for me, that's it. Are there any questions? Okay.
Okay, good.
All right.
That's fine. You guys can still hear us, right? Microphone's okay? I think the green light's on. So good. I mean, what I actually really liked about this trade is combining a longer term level with an intraday level and with a news catalyst. You had really bad news. You had a really important technical level at 385. You had an intraday level there as well. Putting all that together, that was an A+ trade, shorting below 80 cents. And it was even a good trade shorting at 87 cents. You're going to make a lot of money playing plays like that. So I actually don't want to lose in this trade review how good of a trade that was, because it was a really good trade. If you can find more trades like that, you're really not gonna have to come to these review sessions too much longer. All right, on that note, everyone, enjoy the rest of the day, and we'll talk to you guys soon. Thanks a lot.
Hi, I'm Mike Bellafiore, author of The Playbook and One Good Trade, co-founder of SMB U and SMB Capital here in New York City. If you want to learn more about SMB, please go check out smbu.com. Check out our blog where we share tons of trading tips, trading stories, trades we're in, trading anecdotes, and also take the time to sign up for our 10-day free training program, which we offer to the trading community at smbu.com. We hope you enjoy it. We hope to see you on the site. Trade well.